In recent years, the term emotional support animal has started to become more popular. But what exactly is it? How is it different than a service dog? In today's Find a Friend segment, sponsored by Rascal Animal Hospital, we have head vet Dr. Michelle Gonzalez laying it all out for us. So good to see you, Dr. G.
Good to see you too.
All right, before we get to that, we got to talk about the cutie on your lap.
Yes, so this is Jack. Jack is approximately 5 to 6 years old. He is available for adoption with our friends from Colony Cats. A little bit of a sad story. Jack's owner passed away and they didn't have anyone to take care of it. So Colony Cats took care of him and they're trying to find him a good home.
Okay, what kind of home is he good in? Anybody?
I think so. I mean, he seems to get along really well with other dogs. He seems to get along well with people. When he's in a place for the first time, he's kind of exploring and trying to see what's going on. He kind of ignores the people, but then once he figures things out, he wants to be a lap dog. So I think he would fit just about anywhere.
Okay, he's with Colony Cats, as you said. It's colonycats.org if you're interested in adopting Jack. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about support animals. And when I was first kind of looking into this, I've often wondered, okay, what exactly is that? What kind of purpose do they serve? And how is that different from other names we hear?
Right, so the most common concept is the service dog. And we always think about the CNI dogs because that's the most common type of service dog. And you know, it's the dogs that help people with visual impairments get to places. But then there are other dogs that are service dogs that are like seizure dogs. They alert a person if they're going to have a seizure. More recently, we've been hearing about PTSD dogs. Right. That if a person is having a nervous episode or something like that, they will help with that. But then more recently, there has been this whole concept of the emotional support dog. And it comes from the fact that, I mean, they give us unconditional love. It's like, so many people say, I'm so stressed out, but I go home and my dogs greet me at the door and I just feel so much better. And there are some emotional problems that people can have that is not quite a disease, but you know, depression, anxiety, things that they may not need medication for, but just having the companionship of the animal is enough to just help them through the day.
But when we talk about that too, there are not the same rights and circumstances for those dogs, right?
Exactly. So that's where the problem occurs, is that there is this whole certification for emotional support dogs. And a lot of people think that it's kind of interchangeable with the service dogs, so that then they're allowed to do exactly the same things. They can go to places that do not allow dogs, and that is not correct. Because an emotional support dog is not trained for anything. It just needs to be. It doesn't have to be trained. So the rights that emotional support dogs have is that they are allowed to live with their owners, even if like an apartment has a no pet policy. If they have a letter from their doctor and their animal is certified as an emotional support animal, then they can have that animal there. There are even some flights that will allow a person to fly with their emotional support animal. But emotional support dogs are not allowed, like in the grocery store. They're not allowed to all different places. And it can be dangerous at times.
And you know, you recently wrote about this on your blog, your Generation Wags blog. Why is there such an increased interest and need really for these animals? I feel like we didn't hear about them until very recently.
I think that part of it is that there is a need, and doctors are realizing that the animals are important in the lives of these people that have these problems. But I think there's a little bit of abuse of the system. People think, hey, my apartment doesn't allow a dog over 40 pounds. I'm going to get my dog certified as an emotional support animal, and then they have to take it.
Right.
And that's where the problem is occurring, because what I see is if this trend continues, that emotional support dogs are going to start losing some of these things that they can do. So people that really need them are not going to be able to have them in their apartments or their houses. Or,
they serve a purpose. And so we need to recognize that. And I like the example you gave, because you even said in your blog there was this woman who got her dog designated an ESA because he got sad when she left for work.
Yeah. Exactly. And so her way of dealing with it
doesn't come with me, right?
Right, exactly. Exactly. And the problem is, like, that dog in particular, like, it gets sad because it has separation anxiety. It's a dog that has behavioral issues, and then she's trying to deal with the behavioral issue by calling it a support dog and taking him to places that may not be right for him. That's the problems that we're seeing with these emotional support dogs going to places and getting into fights with other dogs, or, you know, going to the bathroom inside of facilities because they're not trained for these purposes.
And be smart about it. Don't ruin it for everybody because you're trying to take advantage of it. But again, if you want to read more about that, you can go to Generation Wags, Dr. G's blog. And if you want to adopt Jack, you can go to colonycats.org. They have dogs too, I swear. All right, Dr. G, thanks as always.
Thanks.